Okay, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Want to continue with the 2022 Biology Paper 2 GCE. So today we're going to solve the second and the third question. In the previous video, we solved the first question. Okay, so just as you can see on the diagram there, we have the internal structure of a leaf. So first, even before you attempt the question there, you have to identify the parts which have been labeled to make it easier. So if you check part X, this is the upper epidermis, which is a tissue consists of all these cells here. Then this is the palisade tissue. This is a fascicular tissue. This is a guard cell, and this is a stomata here. Okay, so the first question is question 2A, Roman numeral 1. Identify the tissues X, Y, and Q. So we start with X. X, that is the upper epidermis. That is the upper epidermis. So part X, that is the upper epidermis. Then you talk about part Y, that is the palisade tissue. That's the palisade tissue. Okay, then Q, that is a vascular bundle or vascular tissue. Okay, so that's the first question on question 2. Then A, Roman numeral 2, tissue X and Y were tested for starch. Which of the two tissues would show the presence of higher concentration of starch? Okay, so in this case, Roman numeral 2, the part between X and Y, the one which will show higher concentration of starch, is part Y. That is the answer. It's, or should I use the word tissue since I'm using tissue? So we say tissue Y. Then Roman numeral 3, we need to provide the reason for our answer. So give an explanation for the answer given in A2 above. Why have we said that tissue Y will show the higher concentration of starch? Okay, this is because the palisade tissue consists of palisade cells which are specialized for photosynthesis by having numerous chloroplasts as compared to other parts of the leaf. So this is because tissue Y, which is a palisade tissue, has palisade cells which are specialized for photosynthesis by having numerous chloroplasts. As compared to other parts of the cell. As compared to, in this case, tissue X. Okay, so that's the reason why we have said that tissue Y we have a lot of starch compared to tissue X, because this has specialized cells for photosynthesis, which has a lot or numerous chloroplasts for photosynthesis. Okay, then we go to question B, which is the other side. Question B, name the cell labeled R in figure 2. So you have to identify the part or the cell which is labeled R. So the cell labeled R, this is the guard cell. So that is called the guard cell. So for question B, Roman numeral 1, B, Roman numeral 1, R is the guard cell. R is the guard cell. Then Roman numeral 2, which features does cell R have in common with tissue X and Y? So that enables to perform its function. So if you compare the parts labeled the cell labeled R and the tissue X and Y, so they want us to find out the feature which is in common between cell R and tissue X and Y, which enables this cell to carry out its function. Okay, we have a number of features which are common in cell R and these tissues. First of all, R has chloroplast. Even tissue X and Y, they also have chloroplast. Cell R it has the cell wall. Talk about the cell X and Y. The cells which are found in tissue X and the cells found in tissue Y, they also have the cell wall. Now, since we're talking about the one which enables it to carry its function, the question is specific. They're saying that which feature is common, which is found in this tissue, and this is cell R and the X and Y, which enables to carry out its function. So you can talk about the chloroplast or the nucleus. Remember, cell R has the nucleus which controls all cell activity. So the nucleus enables this cell to carry out its function. Apart from that, you can talk about the chloroplast. So for Roman numeral 2, the feature which is in common is that cell R has chloroplasts, which are also found in the cells found in tissue X and Y. So they have chloroplasts which enables them to carry out their function, which are also found in cells which are found in tissue X and Y. They also have the nucleus. I talked about the nucleus earlier on. The nucleus enables all cells to carry out their function. Remember, the nucleus controls all cell activity. So we can talk about the nucleus here as well. Okay, so we are done with question 2. Go to question 3. Question 3, figure 3 represent bones of a forelimb of a human or a mammal. Okay, now the question is, excuse me, which letters correspond to the following structures? We have the radius, the ulna, as well as the humerus. So we need to identify okay, so question 3, Roman numeral 1. So the letter which correspond to the radius is K. So radius is equals to K. So you can say letter K. And Roman numeral 2, the una or the una, which is the letter H, and the humerus letter I. Humerus letter I. Identify the type of joint found at J, that is the hinge joint. So for B, Roman numeral 1, the joint which is found at J is the hinge joint. Excuse me. Now, the question here is not really specific because the types of joints are classified in many ways. Okay, we have what are called the hinge joint and the ball and socket joint. But all these, they fall under what is called the synovial joint. Okay, so the type of joint which is found here, because it can be called the hinge joint, if you want to use the word synovial joint. Synovial joint, because the hinge joint is falling under synovial joint. Under synovial joint, we have the hinge joint, the ball and socket, and many other. Okay, then we go to Roman number 2. Give a reason for your answer in B1 above. Why have we said that this is a hinge joint? Okay, one, we have said it is a hinge joint because the hinge joint is only found in the knee joint and the elbow joint, and this is the elbow joint. Remember, this is the forelimb, meaning that the hand here. Okay, so the joint which is found at the elbow there is called the hinge joint, or if one you can say the synovial joint. Now, if you use synovial joint, the reason it will be simply because it is made up of the synovial membrane or synovial cavity. Okay, so all synovial joints, they have the synovial membrane which produces synovial fluid present in the synovial cavity used for lubrication. So depend with the word which you have used here, that's what will be your reason. Okay, so for the synovial joint, the reason will be because it is made up of the synovial membrane. Because it is made up of a synovial cavity or membrane. Synovial cavity surrounded by the synovial membrane. Okay, that is what is called a synovial joint. Name 2 disorders of the joint at J. That is for C. 2 disorders for the joint. Okay, so we have 1, the inflammation of the bone at the joint. Inflammation of bones at joints. In this case, specifically joint J. Apart from that, we have bone dislocation. If you undergone through maybe an accident, this bone can be dislocated, can be moved here. So bone dislocation. bone dislocation. Okay, so these are the two disorders for the bone or the joint at J. Okay, the last question for question 3 is explain why a bone is considered to be a living tissue. So why a bone is considered to be a living tissue? So the bone is considered to be a living tissue simply because it is made up of living cells and it grows. You know, the characteristics of living organisms is one of them is growth. Living cells, they do respiration. So the bone is called the living tissue because it is made up of the living cells. So the bone is called the living tissue because it is made up of living cells which grows. Okay, so these are the answers for the question 2 and question 3 of 2022 GCE exams. Thank you for watching. Now bear in mind that for those who are planning to write for the exams GCE 2023, lessons have begun, both online and physical classes. Okay, so we always meet at 20 hours to 21 for online lessons at a very affordable prices, which is only 100 kwacha monthly per subject. So we have math here at this platform, we have chemistry, we have physics, okay, we also have biology and English. So these are the subjects which we offer online lesson. Now you can come in contact with us and join our visual lessons through Zoom, Google Meet, and also Google Classroom. You can get in contact with on 0972 36 50 11. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.